have my application running, right? There's books, and each book will have reviews. However, when I click on details, those reviews are not reflected, and I would like to see that. I can see that I have reviews for certain books because I do have a reviews webpage, right? And I can create a new review. And as we saw in previous videos, I can create a review for a book. I can select the books here and create a review and hit create. So however, here's what I would like to do. I would like to click on details and see not only my book, but also the reviews for that book, right? So we'll do that. Also, what I would like to do is to have here a little bit of a search box. So when books are 2 is fine, but what happens when I have 2,000 books? I want to be able to search by a name or something like that. Okay, so I'm going to add a box here, and also display the details of a book, the reviews under the details for a given book. So let's get to it. Here on my on my ASP, my code, right? The details view, I'm going to change it a little bit. In the model, I'm going to assume that each model, which is a book, comes with the reviews. If a model comes with the reviews, then I can add this code, right after the HTML display model price, right after I display the price and I end these, right? I can do the following. I can have a table with the score for the review and the comments. Those are the headers. And then what I'm going to do is for each review, this is just the data type, right? It's book reviews, which is my application namespace, models.review. For each review in the model, the book that's coming, .reviews, what I'm going to do is I'm going to display this, I'm going to create a row with the score and the comment. Now that would work, except for the fact that my model only contains a book and not the reviews. So in order to put the reviews in the model, that happens in the controller. It does not happen in the view. So I'm going to just save this view, and I'm going to go to the controller for books. In the books controller, I look at the details method. And you can see in the details method that first I say, well, if the ID of a book, because details is to display the details of a particular book given the ID. If that ID is null, then I will return a page saying not found. If it's not null, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all the books from the database. That's what that await context book means. Select all the books from the database, and from all the books, I am going to select one book, such that if M is the book, if the book's ID field matches the ID supplied in the parameter, then that's the book that I want to display. Basically, if I say details of book number 5, I'm going to select all the books, and I'm going to select the single book whose ID is equal to 5. And that is the book model that I'm going to pass to the view. As you can see, this book doesn't come by default with the reviews. So what I can do is I can say include for every book such that I include that book dot reviews, right? So I can do that. I can just say dot include for every book that I select, I will include that book's reviews. This again is a lambda notation, which is some sort of mappings that you can pass. It's a little bit of functional programming, but that's for a different video. I do have a video on Java lambda expressions that explained how these work, and it applies to C# as well. But anyways, I will include the reviews, and now I'm going to pass my book model here. That includes the reviews, and the code that we use to loop through the reviews should now work. Let's test it. So here's our list of books, and if I go to the details of a given book, for example, Harry Potter, I can see the book Harry Potter, then the little table that I created with the headers of score comments and each score and its comments. Go back to the list and see the same for Lord Jim, which only has one review. Okay, so that is how you would loop through and access details for a master record. Now the second bit of this is to try and create a search bar to search books, to display, to select books. And this, what I'm trying to show you is how to manipulate data. So if we go to the views, to the index view, the index view contains a list of views, a list of records, right? So what I am going to do is I am going to create here a little search box. So right where it says create new, right above that, I'm going to create a little search box. And that search box, it's just a simple form with an input type text. So I'm going to do form. Now here's the thing. I can specify in this tag helpers, which is not exactly the form. I can use a form tag exactly, but also instead of typing a whole URL to go to once the form is submitted, I can just say ASP action, and then this is going to be a method in my controller. So I'm going to go to the method search, okay? And then in my form, I'm going to have an input of type text, right? The name of this input is going to be search query, search queue, okay? And then after this, I'm going to have an input type submit with the value that says search. All right, and that is the form. This is very easy, to understand. There will be a form in the index page, but I have created a chain of things that need to happen in order for me to accomplish this. First, I need to go to the search action, which means I need to have a search method in my book controller and also a search view. The search view for me will be very similar to this view because this view, the index view, displays a list of books. So I might as well just display a list of, use this as a template for displaying a list of views. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this completely. I'm going to go to view books, and here I'm going to add a new view. It's going to be an empty view, empty without model, and I will just add it. So this added a view, a simple view. I'm just going to substitute this whole thing with what I copied from the index page. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to change this title to search results. And also here, the form is search. The title is going to be search results. Okay? And all that matters here is that when I pass this list, this model, this is a list of books, is that this list of books be the list of the books based on certain search criteria. So this is my search view, and I will change the name. For some reason I forgot to do this, to search. Okay, so now I have my search view. Everything works. Now I need to create the method in the controller. So I'm going to go to the controller, books controller, right? And what I am going to do for this is I'm going to create the search method. I will put it right here under index for whatever reason. So this is going to be, just to keep with the comments, this is going to be search, and then some search query, equals something. So the method's going to be like this: public async task iAction result. So this is exactly like any other method that's going to return a page. The method name is search, and now remember the form that came to search had a field, and the field was named search queue, right? And it is of type string. So there will be a search queue. What I'm going to say is that if search queue, if search queue is null, then I'm going to return page not found, right? Now, however, if this is not null, I'm going to do the following. I'm going to db query. I'm going to create a variable called db query, okay? Or this could be, yeah, books. If I want all the books that are selected, books, and this will be, I'm going to select now from the database based on this search criteria. So I'm going to say from P as an element P in the table book in the database, that's how I access it, where p.title, where the book's title contains the search query. Okay? So I'm going to select from the book where the title contains the search query. And then I'd say select that element, right? All the elements that match this query, that's what I'm going to select. Once I have that, I'm going to return view await, and then this list books, I'm going to convert it into a list asynchronous list to list async. Open, close. So what this is doing basically is doing the same thing as the index. The index just got all the books to list async. What I did instead is just select a few books based on the where criteria, right? And I can also do them order by p.title, okay? So I define a search criteria for my list of books that I'm going to return, and then I just return the view corresponding to this method with a list of books as the model. And this should work. Let's test this. So here's my list of books with my search box. I can search for books, for example, that contain the word Potter. And I click search, and that only displays Harry Potter. I can display books with the word Jim, and I only select Lord Jim. I can display books that contain the letter O, and that will take me to both my books, because both my books contain the letter O in the title. That's how you create the search results. In the next video, we're also going to see how to do data annotations to validate.